Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join the other amazing people that have already done so. It is much appreciated. So this month I've decided to talk about nothing but holiday things, as you've probably already noticed, because I talked about Krampus, St. Nicholas, and my top favorite holiday movies that I watch every year this time of year. Anyways. So to keep with that trend, theme, whatever you want to call it, I decided to talk about evil Santa. Have any of you heard of the Santa serial killer? Where he dresses up in a Santa suit and kills a bunch of people? Because I swear I've heard of one. I guess there's a bunch of these. Well, not like a whole, large number of them, but quite a few. But this one specifically, I've never actually heard of, so I was curious about it. So, a man named Bruce McArthur murdered 8 men between 2010 to 2017 in Toronto, Canada. He worked as a landscaper who also worked as a Santa Claus in a shopping center during Christmas time. The majority of his victims were part of Toronto's gay village. 6 of the 8 victims were sexual in nature, which made the police believe that he may have had relationships with some of his victims because of that reason. And some of them showed signs of binding or confinement. And this is where it gets kind of creepy as hell and pretty fucked up, to put it nicely. So, after he killed his victims, he would pose the bodies in certain positions and then photograph them. Once he was happy with the photographs he took, he proceeded to mutilate the bodies by chopping up the remains and hiding them in large potted plants at a property where he did landscaping work. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. And twisted. So, 7 of the victims were found scattered in planters around the property. The 8th victim was found in a ravine behind the property. And what's even more kind of messed up is Bruce McArthur was married and he had 2 children, but he didn't acknowledge his sexual orientation until he was in his 40s. At that point, he left his family, which was 1997, and moved to Toronto, where he became well known among the gay community there. One of the members of the community in an interview said that Bruce was well known among his friends in the community and his Santa-like appearance made him innocuous. No one would have suspected him because he appeared harmless. I mean, who would suspect Santa being evil? Nobody. Nobody would suspect that this man is could be a murderer. No one. So, the other way that he probably found his victims was through his landscaping business, because occasionally he did hire workers for that business. And most of the men Bruce targeted were Middle Eastern or South Asian in descent. And they lived in the margins of Canadian society, so their disappearances didn't attract much attention. One of the victims, for example, hid his sexuality from his Muslim family. Another was a recent immigrant who had a drug problem. Another alleged victim was a homeless man with a drug problem who worked as a prostitute. And of course, we know prostitutes usually get overlooked when something happens to them, unfortunately. When Andrew Kinsman, one of the victims, disappeared, his friends took notice. I mean, he was well known in the community because he was an LGBTQ activist and a former bartender in Toronto. Even the police took notice of his disappearance. And that's when they kind of really started looking around. Members of the LGBTQ community, prior to the disappearance of Andrew Kinsman, voiced concerns of a serial killer targeting them. But unfortunately, many times the community gets overlooked when crimes occur against them. It's a sad reality. I honestly, though, I don't know why Bruce McArthur started killing people in 2010, since he was living in Toronto for 15 years. Usually something triggers. a serial killer to start murdering people. Although for some, I don't know why they start killing. Like, for example, you have the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. He started breaking into people's homes at a young age. So I don't really know why his escalated to murder, unless he didn't want witnesses. It's the only thing I could probably think of. Other times, their mom dying triggers them to start killing. That was Ed Gein. Ed Gein started killing after his mom's death. So there's always usually like a trigger that causes them to start. There have been other cases, like I said, people dressed in Santa Claus outfits and murdering people. Are you familiar with any of those? Did you know about this one specific? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know how common this is. And I honestly can understand a Santa Claus murdering people. It's kind of similar to murders that occur during Halloween. That's part of why Scream scares the crap out of me. Because someone in costume isn't seen as a threat usually. People tend to let their guard down, and some horrible people take advantage of that, unfortunately. And I think that's the case with Bruce McArthur and other Santa Claus murderers out there. I think it's just people let their guard down because they see this jolly old man, and we don't... A lot of times people don't see the elderly as a threat, and I think that might also play into it, and it's kind of wrong in a sense, because I've heard of some strange things where sometimes elderly are pretty aggressive and abusive to grandchildren, sometimes even their own kids. So I don't think it really matters what age you are. I think you can still be violent. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of that. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more, and join the other amazing people that have done so. And if you don't want to miss a video and stay up to date on all my content, don't forget to hit the bell icon and receive notifications when a new video is up. Thanks again so much. You guys are amazing. Take care until next time.